Democracy is hanging by its string. Did we vote for democracy or regime? That is the question. We once lived beneath a security blanket vast and wide. Democracy, our shelter, our guardian, our guide. It nestled us safe from the coming of the storm. A steadfast promise, faithful and warm. It built an economy with an even trade, where voices could speak and unshaken and be unafraid. Ideas should raise for the whole world to see, and even in cliches, we breathe freely. Democracy ride as a horse, mighty and true, pouring strength into education, health, and stability too. It swung for the door to open for every man, woman, and child, and called the whole world by the name equality. It's the plan. It ensured no child, no woman, and no man could go hungry or be left behind. It barred the iron fist and unyielding, never stir dried. But in 2024, if you guys remembered, some doubted this grace and woke asleep a serpent and took its place. It came as a regime with a cold divided hand and began to stir away the freedoms of our land. Democracy is hanging by a string, ladies and gentlemen. It took from many and gave the few, and those who followed and believe its power is true. We'll learn in time that the borrowed might decays, and the light they worship will soon fade away. We are hanging by the string, like I said. When it comes to democracy, ladies and gentlemen, look, now look. See how democracy's foundation is strained. Journalism, who was born in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, who carried the pain of ancestors through slavery, sharecropping, chain gang, Jim Crow laws, cruelty, and even civil rights gained. For 30 years, his voice was clear, using the First Amendment to preserve free speech, free press, assembly, and belief. Yet before a crowd stirring grief, and stood to receive an honor and give honorees a momentum belief. The regime took him as a public arrest, silenced truth, and putting justice to the test. Toni Morrison, an all-American, a world star with wisdom clear, warned us how they will come for the arts. We heard her, we hold that dear. Journalism is a part of the collection of the soul, a virtual piece that makes the nation whole. This pattern is not new. This is a regime. It has been there before, and now it returns seeking over more. See how the election puller had swung. Georgia 2020, boxes were taken away. Asians of influence and shade, shadows and light, altered the balance of power and right. Scotland had also had their taste, similar to Venezuela. Scotland is begging for the captain and his crew, which the regime had subdued. When numbers were tampered and data did not match, when ballots go silent and total detach, what becomes of the vote? What becomes of the trust? When the system is shaken and the fairness turns to dust? What then of our rights of the 13th, 14th, and the 15th? Won the blood and struggles of a historical shaft. What then free speech of the voice of truth and also choice? When the regime speaks over people of their own voices. It moves through the cybers, the webs, the connection, the newspapers, the channels, and all the reflections. It ties the FCC and the FTC in a wobbling spider, like a ant spider Nancy web. And so it housed the taxes of the people grieve. Insurance triples, the pocket grows light, and when the regime steps further into the light. We remember when democracy ensured equal bread, when justice was living and hope was widespread. If you vote for democracy, then you know this decree. Art and journalism, every essential and living and will be. The very pulse of survival will be guarded, seeing a future which creation and truth are forever free. So I ask you now, what with all that we have seen, did you vote for democracy or regime? And when you choose regime, a reflection appears. It was the love of itself, of you, that set aside and embracing fears. Now under this grass, it touches and its command. Do you feel the weight of its cold, heavy hand? Ladies and gentlemen, this choice is ours. It's ours to make. Will you stand for freedom or let them take? Will you kneel to the serpent or raise or reclaim? The democracy we voted for is more than just a name. So I ask you once more, as we face this great task, did you vote for democracy or you surrendered the rest? Because, ladies and gentlemen, democracy is hanging by a string if you cannot clearly see it.